Okay, Mayor, I guess you're live.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Perth East Council this 17th day of May. I'd like to call our meeting to order. If everyone could please bow their heads for a moment of reflection. Thank you. Before we get to the agenda, I'd first like to welcome our new treasurer, Paula Michaels, who is with us tonight. Paula has extensive knowledge and experience and qualifications through her 20+ years of management roles within the municipal sector, including mostly recently the municipality of Huron East as finance manager treasurer deputy clerk. Sorry, Paula, for 11 years, as well as working at the County of Oxford and the City of Stratford. Paula started this past Monday, and we welcome you to Perth East. Do you have anything you want to add or say at this time?
Just thank you for those comments, Mayor, and I look forward to working with everyone.
Great. Thanks, Paula. Welcome aboard. Okay, so now we're going to move into our agenda, and I know Eric has an amendment that we're going to add to the agenda. Eric, the floor is yours.
Yes. Hold on, sorry. Agenda item 11.1.1, the Maitland Valley Conservation Authority MOU. Staff are recommending a deferral for the MVC MOU until further information is available pertaining to the Grand River Conservation Authority and the Upper Thames River Conservation Authority.
Okay, does anyone else have anything they wish to add to the agenda? If not, we need a motion to accept the agenda as amended. Moved by Amanda, second by Jeremy. All in favor? Carried. Okay, if you have pecuniary interest, you can disclose it now or as we move along into the meeting. We have 15 items in our consent agenda. Is there anything anyone would like pulled, or do they have any questions on any of those items? Andrew?
Yeah, just a quick comment. If there's one available for 519 Blue Water Recycling, I see there's another package available from the clerk in the description. I'm just wondering any effect that anybody knows that's going to be on our system. It says blue box, so I'm not even sure whether it's been blue box, but so that's fine. I'm not sure the effect on us, if any, but if brief explanation.
Yep, Councillor McAlpine. It's just saying that the Ontario regulations have increased for blue box, but blue water recycling was already meeting those expectations. So there will be no impact on us. I can send you the full package as well following the meeting.
Please, thank you.
Okay, anyone else with any questions?
So looking at 5.1.10, the communications from AMO, I'm looking at the new regulations for the use of AST's automated speed enforcement. And municipalities now have that opportunity to use cameras in designated community safety zones, in particular school zones. I'm wondering if this is on staff's radar or for the future, and if it's a possibility that Perth East and a couple of our schools or our high traffic areas where speeding is a concern, and just for information, if staff's even got that on their radar.
Okay, Wes, can you maybe comment on that?
So nothing on our radar as far as cameras. We have put up speeds warning signs, the mobile signs on some of our schools, but nothing as far as cameras. It's something that we could look into, though.
Okay, yeah, thank you. If there's anything further, I might bring something forward in the future. Thanks, Wes.
Okay, Daryl?
I'll just add to that. Rhonda and Hugh may recall at county, there's been some talk similar to this. Do you recall? Now, I know legal was involved. There is a process and it takes staff. This is the issue. of the rollout of this and to keep it up and follow through to tickets is what it ends up as to the car. There's a heck of an expense behind it as well. It is interesting though. There's been the rollout of those blue signs in all the communities. The county's done a lot of that. I know that's working, but there's been a little talk of this and touching on it at county. There is quite a process behind it, but like Wes said, maybe a report back, see what's involved, and that's our best option. That'd be great.
Okay, anyone else with any questions on any of those items? If not, then we have a motion that items 5.1.1 to 5.1.15 is set out on the consent agenda for May 17, 2022 regular meeting of council be received for information, and that the minutes of May 3rd, 2022 regular council meeting be adopted. We have a moved by Jerry. Second by Amanda. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Okay, we do have a delegation. We have Mr. Lightfoot here from BDO Canada to do our audit report. So Mr. Lightfoot, welcome to Perth East, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mayor Eggets. So I believe my purpose in being here tonight is to seek approval of the draft financial statements. And so let's get to those. Colleen has agreed to share her screen and as we go through this, because that's above my pay grade technically. So Colleen, if I could call upon you to open up the financial statements, and we'll start at the auditor's report, which is page 3 or page 2, sorry. Darn it. I'm gonna have to reopen that myself because having some computer problems today. Sorry, just bear with me. Of course it has to happen now.
Oh, my apologies. I was sharing the wrong document.
Yes, I suppose you can go ahead and share it. I can just read off of that. So while my other copy is loading up. So.
Sorry, did you want the PowerPoint?
No, the financial statements at the auditor's report. I just had my own copy up here on my other screen and it disappeared.
Sorry, just give me 1 second. Apologies for the delay.
It's okay, Eric.
Okay, mine has reappeared. I think we're in the wrong document there. How about if I try to share my screen with that?
Yeah, that'll work. My apologies.
This is up here. Oh dear. Is that working? Oh, geez.
Yeah, you're good.
See that?
Okay, so you can see the auditor's report.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the first section is the opinion. And the first paragraph of that is simply identifying the financial statements on which we're reporting. And I'll just read the second paragraph, which is the substance of our report. In our opinion, the accompanying consolidated financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the consolidated financial position of the municipality as at December 31st, 2021, and the consolidated results of its operations, change in net financial assets, and consolidated cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with Canadian public sector accounting standards. So basically, it's a clean opinion saying that the statements present fairly. The next section just briefly mentions the basis for that opinion, and that is to say that we conducted an audit in accordance with Canadian generally accepted auditing standards. And having done that, we believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The next section reminds the reader that the statements are the responsibility of management. And on the following page, there's a greater detail, elucidation of what we do as auditors in summary form. And it's dated today, assuming that we get approval for these statements. After that, we have the financial statements proper, beginning with the consolidated statement of financial position. So here we are examining, reporting the assets and liabilities and resulting surplus position for the township as at the end of the year. And we have comparative figures for the previous year. So very briefly, the total financial assets were just under $23 million, comprised mainly of cash and also some long-term investments. Against those financial assets are financial liabilities in the form of accounts payable, deferred revenue, and such, totaling just under $8 million. So we have net financial assets of just over 50 million. And then there are non-financial assets, mainly comprised of tangible capital assets at depreciated value, and then prepaid expenses and inventories. So all told, total non-financial assets of just under 61 million. And therefore, those all total to an accumulated surplus of just under 76 million. Throughout the various lines there are note references. So when we get to the notes, we'll see additional details on these figures. Following that, we have the statement of operations. So here we're summarizing the income and the expenses of the township for the year. We have comparative figures for the previous year and budgeted figures. There's a note reference there in that we've tweaked the budget somewhat because it doesn't exactly follow the format we've used here, particularly with respect to capital assets. So typically in the budget, those will be capital asset acquisitions will be expense, and you don't budget for depreciation or amortization. So we just adjust those couple of things. So in terms of revenue, slightly over 17 million for the year, comprising, as you can see, mainly of taxation, various government grants, user fees. Against those expenses, there were revenues, there were expenses totaling 14,322,000, and they're broken out there by function. That resulted in an annual surplus from operations of 2,725,000, and in addition, there was a small loss on the disposal of some capital assets of just under 30,000. So that all nets out to an annual surplus of 2,696,305. Adding that to last year's accumulated surplus gives us the accumulated surplus we saw on the previous statement, the statement of financial position. That's followed by the statement of change in net financial assets. This is reminiscent of the days when we used to have speak in terms of working capital. So we are looking at basically working capital flow. And to do that, we start with the surplus we saw on the statement of operations, and we adjust for transactions that relate to capital assets and, well, other non-financial assets. So starting with the surplus, then deducting the purchases of capital assets and adding back the amortization, we come down to net change in financial assets of 1,459,000. And when we add that to last year's balance, we come up with the net financial assets we saw on the statement of financial position. That's followed by the statement of cash flows. So this takes it one step further and looks at the source and use of cash alone rather than working capital. So again, we start that by looking at or taking the surplus and then adjusting for non-cash items. The result of that is if you go maybe a third of the way down to this first subtotal, this tells us that operations generated a positive cash flow for the year of just under $6.6 million. Of that, $3.9 million was plowed back into the purchase of capital assets. Another $4.5 million was went towards the increase in long-term investments. And a smaller amount was used to repay existing long-term debt. So the overall effect, when you consider those four categories, was a decrease in cash for the year of just over $2 million. Again, taking that away from last year's ending balance gives us the cash on hand that we saw on the statement of financial position. So the statements are followed by several pages of notes. So these give us additional disclosures and details regarding the financial statements. The first note is always a summary of significant accounting policies. So regardless of what accounting framework is used, there's always a choice of accounting policies that can be followed. And so we are obligated to disclose those in a note. The first one of note is the basis of consolidation. So we refer to these as consolidated financial statements because any of the local boards or committees that are controlled by the township are included. And in this case, it is simply the library board which has been included. Now there's an accounting policy there, note there on tangible capital assets, basically disclosing the rate at which they are amortized. At the bottom of page 8, a note regarding the county and school boards. So you collect tax on their behalf, but those revenues and expenses aren't recorded in these statements because they're not really yours. They're acting as agents. Similarly, the trust funds on the next page, there are trust funds that are administered by the township, but they're not reflected in these statements because they have their own statements, because again, they're not truly belonging to the township. Beyond the accounting policies, note 1, which is on page, well, I'm not sure now. I can't get back to it. Anyway, note 1 gives us a little more detail on cash, breaking it out between cash and short-term investments. Note 2 gives us more detail on the long-term investments, which have increased quite a bit during the year. Over onto page 12, landfill closure and post-closure liabilities. These give disclosures around a particular liability we saw on the statement of financial position. And it gives you some details on that. I believe there is a typo here, which if we're going to approve these statements, we should take this into account when that motion is made. Looking at the second paragraph, the second last sentence says that the total undiscounted estimated future expenditures for post-closure care is $136,750. Parenthetically, the amount for 2020, leaving an amount to be recognized of $348,250. I believe that number should be $369,050. That would be the sum of two numbers we saw earlier, the 232.3 and the 136,750. So that number should be changed for the final addition to 369,050. On page 13, note 4, there's some breakdown of the deferred revenue balance. So deferred revenue, of course, is cash that you have received either in this year or even a previous year, has not yet been recognized as revenue because it hasn't been spent. So these revenues are for a particular purpose, and when they are actually spent, then they are recognized as revenue to get that matching. Note 5 deals with the pension liability, which has been borne by the province of Ontario. So it doesn't appear on your balance sheet. There's a note there that the OMERS plan is in a deficit position of 3.13 billion. Of course, that's not on you, but in order to pay for that, they're going to have to increase contributions somewhere along the line. So at that time, you'll be kicking in your share. Note 6 gives some additional detail on long-term debt, which is comprised of tile loans and then a couple of debentures for capital projects. Note 7 gives detail on the tangible capital assets. So we saw a one-liner on the statement of financial position at depreciated value. And that number appears in the bottom right of the schedule. And all the rest is detailed, giving you the gross cost, how much has been written off over time, according to the various categories. And then the next page has the same detail for the comparative year. It's followed by note 8, which breaks down the accumulated surplus into its various components. Note 9 gives some details on some of the government transfers we saw in the statement of operations. Also, note 10, the same for provincial grants, and then note 11 was some detail on the other income we saw on the statement of operations. Note 12 expresses the same total number we saw on the statement of operations for expenses, except here it's stated by object rather than function. I often have a hard time remembering which is which, but you can see the difference there. Some further details on the funds raised for the school board in the County of Perth through taxation, and a little bit of detail on the trust funds. Note regarding the budget, which I alluded to earlier. Segmented information. So this provides some additional disaggregation of the numbers we saw on the statement of operations. The numbers on the far right, the total for 2021, those are the numbers on the statement of operations. So here we've broken it down into further detail. And the same for the comparative year. Finally, there's a required disclosure regarding uncertainty due to COVID-19. Hopefully that's behind us and we won't need that note going forward, I hope. At the very end, we have a statement of operations and accumulated surplus for the library board, so some additional detail on their revenues and expenses for the year. So that is a whirlwind tour of the financial statements. If there are any questions, I will endeavor to answer them.
Okay, any questions from members of council? Can someone, oh, there we go, perfect. I can see everyone. Anyone have any questions? No questions. Okay, oh, Daryl's got a question.
No, I noticed there too, and I kind of, and that there's a hot topic around OMERS and the potential of shortage there. That's something that looks like, you know, staff is going to be noticing more pulled off. And it's interesting that that was brought up, and it's neat how that's laid out. And it's something you hear all the time, people worried about their OMERS, and no, it's unique as we do business within the municipality, how we keep things in balance and still remember our citizens. You know, not everybody has that. So I'm sure, you know, as much as people want OMERS, you'll see raises in just fees, you know, and it's unique. Pensions, there's a double-edged sword, I always find. It's more of a comment. Thanks.
Okay, anyone else with any questions? If not, thank you very much, Mr. Lightfoot, for your report and coming tonight. We thank you for that, and you're welcome to stay. But if you want to leave, we do understand council will pass a motion under new business to accept the report. So,
Okay, well, before I run away, did you want me to go through the trust fund statements or not? There's not much to them, but.
council wish to do that? Or do you have enough information? Andrew's nodding his head. You wish to see them, Andrew? Sure, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to call them up, my lightning fast computer here. Okay. I'll have to share my screen again here. Is that working? Can people see it? Okay.
We're seeing your last report where you started. We're not seeing.
Yeah, this is the.
Okay, sorry, it's the same. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. It is the same as it's for the trust fund, so I won't drone through that. It's basically the same report. And then on to the statement of financial positions. It's quite brief. You had cash and short-term investments that would accrued interest at the end of the year.
Mine's not moving. My screen isn't moving. I'm stuck on the first page.
Oh, it says my screen sharing is paused. How's that?
That's good.
Like I say, this is above my pay grade. So total financial assets at the end of the year of just under $810,000. Small amount due back to the township, and so a surplus of just over $801,000. Then we have the statement of financial activities, which is the term they use rather than statement of operations. But in either case, it's just recording the revenues and expenses for the year. Basically comprises of some investment income, some contributions for perpetual care, and some back and forth with the township. The statement of cash flows, again, looking at source and use of cash. So operations giving rise to a positive cash flow of 14,381. A little over 1,000 plowed into investments. And a net of just under 1,000 repaid to the township. So positive cash flow for the year of 12,285. Some detail on the investments in the notes. These are all very conservatively invested. The equity funds in note 2, personally, I wouldn't call them equity funds. They are GICs, but they're linked as far as their rate of return is concerned to the equity markets. But they are principal protected, so I personally wouldn't call them that, but that's what the investment people seem to prefer. So that's it. Any questions on the trust funds?
Any questions from any members of council on trust funds? No. Okay. You did a very good job, Mr. Lightfoot, for not normally doing that, getting it on our screen. So we thank you, and we thank you for your presentation. And like I said, you're welcome to stay for council if you wish. If you wish to leave, we understand that, and we will deal with it under new business. We will pass a motion in to receive the financial reports.
All right, thank you very much. I think I will indeed run away, but it's been a pleasure. Okay.
Great. Thanks. Bye. Okay. So now we do not have a public meeting. We do not have any public hearings. There's nothing from the planning department. No CAO report. No clerk report. We do have finance, the 2021 year-end analysis. Rhonda, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. This report outlines the 2021 year-end cash surplus. On the table on page 146, it shows the makeup of the surplus at a program level, and staffing volatility was a player in the 2021 year-end results. With temporary vacancies throughout the year, it brought the salary plan under budget. There are options for surplus disbursement, and they are listed on page 147 for council's review and direction. And any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Okay, any questions for Rhonda in this report? No questions. Okay, so there are, I believe, 3 options. The first option is to go by the table that's in front of you. The second option is to take some of the money and put it towards the cemeteries. And the third option is at council's will, whatever you wish it to be. Is anyone here prepared? Hugh?
I would go with option 2. The cemetery funds are fairly low, and I think that's something in the future that'll need even more topping up to be able to maintain the cemetery. So I would move option 2.
Okay, so option 2 is moved by Hugh. Do we have a seconder for that? Andrew? Is there any more comments or questions? Daryl?
Yeah, no, on in regards there, how's you making out there, Wes, in regards to keeping up the tombstone maintenance and straightening? I know every year you do a little.
Yeah, we budget 15,000 a year. We have for the last few years, and there's Lingelbach has quite a few yet, and so does the Knox Wesley. But other than that, the rest of them are in decent shape. But yeah, it's something that's going to be ongoing for sure.
Great, thanks.
Okay, any more questions or comments? Then we have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the treasurer dated May 17, 2022, entitled 2021 Year-End Analysis for Information, and that that the 2021 cash surplus of $477,835 be distributed as outlined under option 2 in the report. Okay, all in favor of that motion? Carried. Anything else, Rhonda?
No, that's all she wrote.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll move to Public Works, and the first item in Public Works is the maintenance, gravel, crush, and apply. Wes, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so this is a tender that we head out for the maintenance gravel. Of course, it's up a bit with the fuel costs and trucking costs and that type of thing, but we can make it work within the budget. There is an error on the budgetary impact section. It should read Tri-City Materials instead of Blaine. And I'll take any questions.
Okay, any questions for Wes? Okay, we have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report entitled Tender Results, PW-2022-02, Maintenance Gravel Crush and dated May 17, 2022, prepared by the Manager of Public Works and Parks for information, and that confirmed by this resolution, tender PW-2022-02 for maintenance gravel application and aggregate crushing be awarded to Tri-City Materials for the tendered price of $445,027.50, excluding HST. We have a mover and a seconder for that. Moved by Jeremy. Second by Amanda. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the next item is the reconstruction of Road 140 West.
Yeah, same thing here, an increase more significant than with the maintenance gravel. It's about $3 a ton increase. Part of that is the distance from the gravel pit and also the fuel cost. But we will just reduce the amount that we do and keep the number within the budget. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Wes? No, we have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive a report entitled Tender Results, PW 2022-03, Reconstruction of Road 140 dated May 17, 2022, prepared by the Manager of Public Works Parks for information, and that confirmed by this resolution, tender PW 2022-03 for the supply and placement of granular materials be awarded to Dungan's Haulage 2020-10 Limited for the tendered price of $17.50 per ton for gradual A and $15 per ton for granular B, exclusive of HST. We have a mover, moved by Jerry. Second by Andrew. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. And the third item is the 2022 Drinking Water Quality Management System Report Review. Wes?
So council gets this every year. We brought it forward a little earlier than normal. We're trying to get into a bit more of a schedule with our testing and everything. So we had this last fall. Since last fall, we've had an inspection in both water systems and we have no issues. I can answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, are there any questions for Wes? Andrew?
No, thanks. These are always a lot of fun to read. I do read them fully once, obviously. There's a lot in there. The opportunities for improvement. I couldn't locate, I saw one. What page would that be on? I should have asked ahead of time. I apologize, but it's just offhand, what were those? And is it something that's already done, I would imagine, or those opportunity for improvements? A quick discussion on that, maybe less if possible. If not, we can just converse or email. Everything looks good other than that. So
yeah, I just can't pick that out right now, Andrew, but I can check it out and we'll get back to you. One thing we did notice
We lost you, Wes.
Sorry, I can get back to Andrew on that. I will check it out.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else with questions? If not, we have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive a report entitled 2022 Drinking Water Quality Management Standard DWQMS Management Review dated May 17, 2022, prepared by the Manager of Public Works and Parks for information, and that Council of the Township of Perth East received the attached 2022 Management Review meeting minutes dated April 28, 2022, and the Township of Perth East Drinking Water Systems Operational Plan dated April 18, 2022 for information. Do we have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Jeremy, second by Amanda. Is there any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Anything else, Wes?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have nothing from building, nothing from recreation and community services, nothing from fire. We have one item under correspondence, and that's from Mike and Lindsay Higgins from Lynn River Farm, and they're requesting that for a liquor permit, I believe. Special. Is there any questions on that? Sun's getting me. No questions? Okay. The Council of the Township of Perth East received a correspondence from Lindsay and Mike Higgins, Lynn River Farm, dated May 3rd, 2022, regarding Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario, AGCO liquor license endorsement for information, and that Council endorse Lynn River Farm liquor license application subject to the satisfaction of all required planning matters. Do we have a mover and a second for that? Moved by Daryl, second by Jerry. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, do we have any council or committee reports? Nope, okay. Then we'll move on to bylaws. So we're only doing bylaw 103, 2022. Bylaw 103, 2022, a bylaw to provide for the amendment of the Gerber number 2 municipal drain 2019 Ellis Ward and the collection of amended assessments, and that the bylaw listed above be read a first, second, third, and final time. We have a mover and a seconder for that. Moved by Hugh. Second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we do have a need for a closed session. So with your permission, we will move that down to the end. We will go now with notice of motions. Does anyone have any notice of motions? Anyone have new business? Announcements? Jerry?
Just one, May 28th, the Melbourne Business Association is holding a spring home show at the Perk. I believe it's like 10 to 4 with a number of local vendors. So that's just for anyone who wants to stop by. A little home show at the Perk in Melbourne from the MBA.
Okay, so I have some announcements to make. So I'm going to black my screen out and I'm going to pop up in some other people's spots. So just bear with me, give me a couple seconds, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Oh, we just love surprises. It was that, Jerry.
What's that, Andrew?
The date was at home show.
The 28th. It's a Saturday. Yep.
Honor one of our own and thank him for his 20 years of service with the fire department. In 2001, Bill joined the Township of South Wold Volunteer Fire Department and began his career as being a firefighter.
In 2011, Bill became the fire chief of the Township of Perth East, where he oversees the operation and the administration of the fire department. I'm too tall. In 2014, he became the chief of the municipality of West Perth. We thank you, Bill, for your integrity, your expertise, your professionalism as you lead 3 departments in Perth East and 1 in West Perth. On behalf of council and staff in the Township of Perth East, we want to congratulate you and thank you for your significant contributions to Perth East and receiving the Fire Services Exemplary Service Award from the Governor General of Canada. We'd like to present you with this certificate as a token of our appreciation. Congratulations, Bill. Here's the certificate for Bill.
Thank you very much.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you. Get pictures later.
Okay.
Just hang in there.
Okay.
We're gonna go to the next.
Thank you.
You sit. I'm not going to sit. You sit.
were gonna finish the meeting.
No, I'm not finishing the meeting. I'm running from office to office. So here I am. Tonight, we're here to honor one of our own and thank her for all her years of service at Perth East. Rhonda Fisher, our treasurer and manager of finance, started working in Perth East on October 7th, October of 2007, and has been here a little more than 14 years, and she'll retire on the 31st of May of this month. It's been a privilege and an honor to have worked alongside with you. You are positive and upbeat. We thank you for your leadership, dedication, professionalism, integrity, and your expertise has been a great asset to Perth East. I know you're going to be missed by council and staff, and on behalf of council and staff, we wish you all the best on your retirement. We have a certificate here to present to you that says, upon your retirement, and wishes to express sincere appreciation for your dedicated service and commitment to the community of Perth East. We wish you good health and happiness in your retirement. Congratulations, Rhonda.
Thank you. Very nice.
And we have, I don't know if you can see this from home. Here we go. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rhonda. Mayor
Very
Rhonda, thank you very much.
Here we go. Okay. Okay, so here I am again. Tonight we're here to honor another one of our own and thank her for her years of service here at Perth East. Teresa Campbell, our Chief Administrative Officer, has been with Perth East for a little over 15 years. Teresa started in July of 2000 until June of 2005. She left for a while and then she returned. I'm out of breath. On January 11th till June 3rd of 2022 when she will retire. It's been a privilege and an honor to have worked alongside with you. You're always so positive and upbeat. I thank you for your leadership, dedication, professionalism, integrity, and your expertise has been a great asset for Perth East. I know you're going to be missed by council and staff, and on behalf of council and staff, we wish you all the best in your retirement. I have a certificate for you as well, and it says, upon your retirement, we wish to express our sincere appreciation for your dedicated service and commitment to the community of Perth East. We wish you good health and happiness in your retirement. Congratulations. And we have a certificate.
Thank you. Thank you, Rhonda. Rhonda was fairly insistent that she be here tonight and that some of us be in the office. So I just want to say thank you very much to Mayor Eggets and members of council for the support provided over the years. I want to say thank you very much to the management team and members of staff. They do, they're experts in their field and they make my job run smoother. And thank you very much, each and every one of you, for all your contributions. It's been a pleasure to work in Perth East. It is really a great community, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to my retirement, and my family has always been of support to me to allow me to do what I've been able to do. So going to dedicate a little more time to them as well. But anyway, thank you so much. Thank you, Rhonda.
Oh, you're welcome. So now we will, I'm not running back to my next office. Where do we go? Now we will, we need to go into close. So the regular meeting of council of the Township of Perth East be temporarily adjourned at
Excuse me, Mayor Higgins.
7:52 to permit the holding of a meeting in closed session for the purpose of security of the property of the municipality or a local board. So I need
Excuse-
a mover and a seconder for that. Moved by,
Excuse me, Mayor Higgins, did we have the resolution for the new business, the delegation?
we will. We'll do that after. Sorry. I have to run back to the next. We'll do that after, okay? So moved by Hugh that we go into close, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, thanks, everyone. It's great to see everybody else. I hope you guys have a good night, and we'll see you all again. Rhonda, do you want to say something? You got your hand up. No? Okay.
I was just saying goodbye and ditto on Teresa's speech. That was good.
Okay.
Sorry, Mayor Ricketts, you're on mute.
Okay, so we have a motion that the council of the Township of Perth East rise from the closed session and reconvene to regular session at 8:20. Moved by Jeremy, second by Andrew. All in favor? Carried. We do have a motion from closed session, and it is that the council of the Township of Perth East direct staff to proceed with opening the unopened road allowance known as Hillcrest Street, Millbank, Mornington Ward, Township of Perth East, County of Perth. We have a mover and a seconder for that, moved by Hugh, second by Jerry. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, my apologies. I did miss an item under new business. So we do have a motion that the council of the Township of Perth East receive the presentation by Rob Lightfoot, CPA BDO Canada Inc. Audit report to council for the year ended December 31st, 2021 for information. I have a mover and a seconder for that, moved by Amanda, second by Andrew. All in favor? Carried. And that bylaw 26-2022 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of the Township of Perth East at its regular meeting held on May 17, 2022, be read a first, second, third time. Moved by Hugh, second by Jerry. All those in favor? Carried. And the last motion of the night is the council of the Township of Perth East be adjourned at 8:22.
Rhonda, did we miss
Yes.
that piece of correspondence?
No, we did that from the Higgins. We did that.
We did that? I missed that?
We did
Okay.
it. I have no papers left. We did it.
Okay.
Okay, so motion to adjourn. Moved by Andrew. Second by Daryl. All in favor? Carried. Great, thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of your